In this video, we're going to be learning how to draft and cut a princess dart very neatly and simply with the simplest methods available. So if this is what you're interested in doing, please stay tuned to the end of this video. Thank you. So first, this is my measurement. The measurement I'm using my bust divided by 2. That gave me 20 inches. Then 6 inches for my princess dart allowance, and then 4 inches for my sewing allowance. So all together, I'll be using 30 inches just for the front. Okay, and this is for me to be on the safe side. So right now, I'm just marking out the length of this top. Let's assume this is a top or this paper, whatever thing that you're using. You have to measure the length, the blouse length. Okay, and don't forget to add your sewing allowance when you're measuring your half length or your full blouse measurement. So I folded it into two, and this side that has no end, this side that has a fold, I'll be measuring my neck at this point. First, I'm marking my starting line. From that starting line, I can now measure my neck width of 3 inches and my neck depth of 5 inches. It can vary with what you want. You must not use 5 inches. You must not use 3 inches. Okay, so I'll quickly form a block. If you have not seen the video of how to form, necklines very simply, please check out the videos. Okay, so I'll quickly use my curve and then curve it, but once you know how to, the systematic way to calculate this thing is much more easier. If you still have a curve, you quickly curve it. I'm measuring from this side to mark my shoulder, and from that point I'll be coming down by 1 inch for my shoulder slant, and then I'll connect this 1 inch to my shoulder, or to my neckline with a slant. So I'll be marking my armhole. My armhole is 8. I also have a video on how to calculate your armhole systematically. If you haven't seen the video, please quickly go scroll down and click on the video. So I'll be measuring out my armhole. So at this point where I have my straight line for my armhole, I will come down by 5 inches. Okay, at that 5 inches, I will divide 1.5 inches. I will divide it like this into 2 with my tape. Make sure that it's at 1.5 inches, because I'll be dividing this 1.5 inch between this 5 inch I marked. Okay, so don't forget that 1 is 5 inches, and then the rest are just division between 1.5 inch. Okay, so I will extend this line because this will help our princess that's not to hang. This is why we put this extension, so that one of the princess cuts will not hang when you are stitching it up. So this is one of the main reasons for this extension at the armhole side. So I quickly marked my 5 inches. This is my nipple to nipple measurement. When you are using when you're marking for princess dart, please ensure that your nipple to, even if it's 4 inches or 4.5, at least mark at 5 inches, because it's different. Okay, when you are doing a bustier and a princess dart. So at this starting line, I'll be coming down by 1 inch. Okay, this is another secret. When you are doing your princess dart, come down by 1 inch and then mark your shoulder to bust and then your under bust. This will help the princess dart to balance on your bust. Okay, even after you have already joined your shoulder, so that your princess dart will not hang on top or below your bust, so it just comes accurately on top of your bust. So I am extending these lines, my shoulder to bust and my under bust. I just extended the lines because we're going to be working with that line. So I'll rule my 5 inches. Don't forget, this 5 inches is my nipple to nipple. So the first line is my bust line and the second one is my under bust line. Please don't get it mixed up. And then the last one is our waistline. Okay, we'll be having that as our waistline. So at this point where I have my waistline, though I didn't mark it, I'll be marking 1 inch on the side that is facing the center front, and then on the side that is facing the other end, I'll be marking 1.5 inch. Okay, please don't get it mixed up. This 1.5 is for someone that is busty. it can vary. You can use 1 inch if the person is not too busty. Okay, so at this point, one side has 1 inch and the other side has 1.5 inch. You can see, there's a slight difference. So I just ruled it up to my under bust, and that point where I have my under bust. Now look, you can have a straight line. I will show you why and how the straight line looks. Look at how the straight line looks, and now look at how this curve looks on this other side. I'll still curve this other side so you see the difference. At least let there be a slight curve. Okay, look at this other side that had a straight line. It looks better with a slight curve, and the princess dart comes out more better when there is a slight curve. Okay, here, so always ensure that you have a slight curve whenever you are connecting this line, even if it's not that obvious, but at least let it be a very slight curve. Now I'll be connecting this line to this first line. Okay, I'll connect the line up, this the line around the armhole, the first line, with this first other line now that has 1.5 inch. Okay, I'll connect it, and then I'll connect this second one to the second line. Just have that in mind. It can be at the same point, but just have that in mind that you're connecting these 2 lines to this point. Okay, you will see the difference when I'm cutting it out. So this is how it looks. You can see how it looks. We connected these lines perfectly. Now we are going to see, whenever we're cutting, I'm going to be adjusting the armhole curve here. I'll just curve from this point. Okay, because when I'm cutting, I'll be cutting the upper part to this point. But whenever I'm curving, in fact, you'll see it when I'm cutting it out, so it will be much more easier for you to understand. But this is how the princess dart is being marked. You can always ensure that this side has a curve. Instead of it to be pointed, it should be curved at any point. Please ensure that that point has a curve. So I am just cutting it out, and then I'll go ahead and cut to the first line, just like I told you. You can see I connected to the first line. Then I'll cut this one again and connect to the second line. Okay, carefully. So this is it. Now please, while I'm at this, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel up to this point, please go ahead and subscribe and turn on your notification bell, so every time I upload a video you'll be notified. Okay, so just look at the ways I'm cutting it out, and this is so simple. This is everything that you need to do for a princess dart. Always ensure that there is, when you're sewing, that point, this point now, is not sharp. If it's sharp or too pointed, always trim it a bit. Okay, so this is how the princess dart is supposed to look, so that whenever you're joining it, you will have a leftover instead of the princess dart to be shortening. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how to connect it a bit so you see how it looks. Whenever you have these 2 sides, all you have to do is to just fold this thing this way, and then you sew up all the way up and curve a bit here till you reach the end, and that's all. So thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. Bye.